Welcome to another edition of your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show.
Question is, did she subscribe?
Right.
She's down on YouTube.
Representing from the Boondocks. What up, Jobo?
Hello, what's up? Happy Wednesday.
What up? She repping her Hey Sister Soldier look right now. Everybody give it up for Bunny. What's happening, Bunny?
What up? Happy hump day.
T-Bone, what's going on, brother?
I'm back, and I don't know about better than ever, but I'm back.
What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday Night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth. I think that may be on a highlight reel tape. And we're glad that you are tuning in live along with the millions
And millions
of the platform sports talk show fans on once again your Wednesday Night Sports Delight.
Really?
Or
Brinks truck backing up in his driveway with
There you go.
97 million. There you go.
all you hear is this.
Probably somebody who's doing something to give back and letting the next generation.
Say straight.
Have me syrup on here.
Come on now, don't hit me too up. You know I get emotional.
But people watching around the world, no pressure. And we already have our favorite fan, Ms. Williams, saying, welcome, Brandon.
Well, how are you? Hi, Ms. Williams.
A guy who tried to give it his all and put on for the city, to be truthful. Because like I said, I'm St. Louis die hard.
The views of Smooth does not reflect the platform sports talk show or its sponsors.
What is happening, everyone? It is your Wednesday night Sports Delight on a Tuesday. Hey, okay. This is your boy Smooth, and this is a special edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show. As you don't know, this upcoming Thursday, 2 more days, we have to start the official start of the MLB regular season. And Jobo got at me like, we got to have a show to bring in the MLB season since the Man Cave, which goes down tomorrow night, which I will be on this show hosting because Stan will not be available. So I will be on tomorrow night as well doing double duty. But the Man Cave is tomorrow. And, you know, we didn't have no other day to kind of like get things ready for the season. So Jobo was like, hey, we got to do a show before the season starts. So I said, hey, let's go ahead and make it happen on a Tuesday. And that's why we are here for, once again, a special edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show. Everything, all things Major League Baseball related. We know we have March Madness going crazy. The NBA playoffs is right around the corner. WrestleMania is in 2 weeks, but tonight we are dedicating these next few hours to talk about some baseball. So we need everyone right now to get them likes, get them shares going. Let's get some people tuned in, no matter where you at right now. Tune in right now. Share the stream with the peoples who you know love some baseball, especially them Cardinals, and let's talk some Major League Baseball for the next couple hours. Before I bring in the co-host for tonight, make sure y'all give us a follow, as the dog says, on them internets, on Facebook, the Platform Sports Talk Show, on the X, formerly known as Twitter, at 314 Sports Talk, on Instagram, we're live right now at Platform Sports Talk. If y'all know someone that would be an incredible guest on the show, have them to email us at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. And also go on YouTube, subscribe, click on that bell. So anytime we go live, you will be notified. The show will be uploaded right away on all the social media accounts and also on Roku. So add us as the channel, put in the Platform Sports Talk Show, and boom, your life is made. Tonight, we are not on Hot 365 Radio, but we will be tomorrow for the Man Cave. Hot 365 Radio, crystal clear, high definition sounds. We just sound so incredible on there. I listen to our show, The Replay, on Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, every Sunday, once again. And, we sound amazing. So, once again, we will not be on Hot 365 Radio tonight, but tomorrow night for the Man Cave, it is going down. Speaking of the Man Cave, once again, goes down next week and every last Wednesday of the month. And then right behind the fellas, we have Ladies Night every first Wednesday of the month. So let's get this thing started. We talking all baseball, MLB edition. Leave them comments, get them shares. Let's go crazy with it. But let's bring in my co-host. She's holding things down from the Boondocks. Jobo, what's happening?
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and baseball is back. I'm so excited. I'm so giddy. Oh my gosh, me and Brett have just been talking about baseball more than we always do. So it's here. I'm pumped, and I'm excited to talk baseball.
Most definitely, yes. So it goes down once again Thursday. So, y'all saying, what you mean official? Well, last week in Seoul, Korea, the Dodgers and the Padres played a 2-game series, and that was like the official start of the season. It counted as a regular season game. It was a split out there in Seoul, Korea. And then they came back to the States, played some more spring training games to get ready for the regular season. And Thursday, the Cardinals play at LA against the Dodgers. And start of a new season, 2024 style. And as Joe said earlier, she's excited. I'm excited. Thursday, after I get done doing my work, gotta make sure I put that on the first. I'll be looking at the Dodgers and Cardinals game and looking forward to the home opener next Thursday at Busch Stadium, where the Marlins will be in town, and the wifey and mother-in-law, we are all going to the game together. Got some great seats and look forward to another home opener. I have not missed a home opener, Jobo, in maybe the last, I want to say 5, 6, 7 years, man. I can't recall the last time I didn't go to a home opener. Like, it's a tradition for me to go to a game. I love the atmosphere. I love the pageantry. I love everything about opening day. And the wifey and I, we went last year along with my mother-in-law to the opening day festivities. They had like a Kinder Plaza and everything. And it was just amazing. It was a vibe, seeing a sea of red everywhere. The energy, the positivity is amazing. And it's going to be my mother-in-law's first time going to a home opener. So I know she's going to be in for a treat. We got great seats. I want to take all the visuals I can, but it's going to be amazing. But I know you said earlier, Jobo, baseball is back. You're excited. What is it just about baseball that just had you just so giddy every year around this time?
I came from a super big, passionate baseball family. Started with the St. Louis Browns, the Baltimore Orioles, and then obviously the Cardinals. But it's just, I don't know, it's literally eat, sleep, pray, poop, baseball, like the big things right there, and that's how it's always been as long as I can remember. And just every year, this time of year, like March or late February, you got pitchers and catchers. As soon as that Super Bowl's over and you see those "I'm going to Disneyland" commercials,
right?
I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Baseball's here. You got pitchers and catchers, then actual spring training, and then now opening day. It's here, and it's just so exciting. Gets me all giddy. Shoot, I mean, talking about opening, we went to opening day last year, and I know, well, like you think you either said before the show or the opening of the show, it might be a roller coaster show with our emotions and
right,
possible positivity and 100% negativity, but opening day, there's just something to it. Like, I remember last year watching them, announce the lineup, and it's like, this is a pretty damn good lineup right now, and it still is. I still think the lineup's good, but it's like you get excited for it, and then that game was so weird last year. Like, Miles gave up like 3 or 4 in the first inning, and then we came back and blew it. And I don't know, that game right there was like the perfect example of how baseball can be for you. With the opening day, it's got a chance for winning it all to what happened last year. So I don't know. I'm excited to not crack open some cold ones and watch baseball.
And then to have Wainwright surprise everyone by singing the national anthem.
Oh my gosh, that was the best part last year. I forgot all about that already, and like that was amazing. I completely forgot all about that. That was like so weird, but I loved it, and it's cool because he just recently got to sing at the Grand Ole Opry, and he's enjoying retirement. So good for him.
And now he's going to be part of Fox and MLB Network. So he's going to be busy, just like Pujols is. He's going to be busy as well, doing some games. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Joe Buck he had an interview a while back with 101 ESPN, and he was telling Randy Karraker and Open Drive that he's hoping that things could align right, where there may be a few games throughout this season that him and Chip Carey would call games together.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Now it would be hard because like Valley Sports Midwest got about 20,000 people on staff to call games or be in the studio between Chip, Tom Ackerman, BT, and Jim Edmonds. So you never know. But hey, anytime Joe Buck say, "Hey, can I come in?" I'm pretty sure they'll be like, "Hey, come on in." Because it'll be good for TV. And then plus, he just had that love for still wanting to do commentary only for what he said, only for Cardinal games. He don't want to do like no national stuff. He just want to be local and just be a fanboy. So that'd be pretty cool.
Just be cool because there's Jack Buck and Harry Carey back in the day, and then it'd be cool to to have him and Chip there. So that would be really cool.
Yep, most definitely. So once again, thanks for tuning in to a special edition on a Tuesday night, the Platform Sports Talk Show. We're talking all things MLB. Do not be shy. If y'all have a team or a player that you want to discuss throughout this show, that's what this show is all about. So get them shares going, them likes, and bring them comments so it could be shown on the screen all the show long. So before we get right into the baseball talk, we first want to acknowledge and give our condolences to the families who were affected by what happened in Baltimore, Maryland, yesterday, or I believe early this morning, where a boat hit the bridge and the bridge collapsed. A tragic, I know the videos have been out there, a tragic scene. This something that you just never was, imagine that would happen outside of seeing it in the movie. But to everyone who was affected, who has been affected, the whole city, prayers up to all those right now. And we just hope for not to have as much news like that going on at this time in the future, should I say. So our condolences and prayers up to those. Now, let's get right into some baseball talk. Jobo, you now have my attention. Cardinals edition. What sports story in the Cardinals has your attention? I think I have a feeling who you might say first or what you might say, but please feel free and let's talk about it. What has your attention?
I feel like what you think, what I'm going to say, I'm going to save it for you. I think. I don't know. The main thing I put on there was just like, baseball's back. I'm excited, but like, with the Cardinals got my attention. I don't know. Here, you know what? Bullpen. The bullpen this year. That's got my attention because I think it could possibly be sneaky good. It's a very weird looking bullpen. I'm trying to find the Derek Gold tweet real quick. Or no, it was Jeff Jones. But it sucks because Kean Middleton's not going to be in there. But once he's there, I think it's going to make us that much better. But it really honestly only matters if our starters could help them out. And last year, like I said, opening day was weird. That whole first week or so was extremely weird. Pitchers got lit up, and that was how the season started. But yeah, Helsley, Gallegos, Romero, Kittredge, Palante. I think dark horse in the bullpen is going to be Liberatore, O'Brien, and then Fernandez, which half of that bullpen is completely new since last year. So I'm excited about it. Like I said, I'm excited for Libby, and Gallegos, I think, is really going to be the make it or break it guy. Last year, I think the pitch clock really messed with him. Had a mid-4 ERA, and so I think this year, make it or break it. He could probably be that, whether our bullpen is good or not this year.
Yes, I agree 100% with you. The bullpen, which was a big issue last year, I think we led the league in blown saves and blown opportunity, whatever you want to call it. We just wasn't good last year, which kind of started from the lack of having a great rotation, which we'll get to later on. But like you said, Gio had a bad year. Ryan Helsley was hurt majority of the year. Jordan Hicks, we know what happened at that time. I'm gonna say something about him later on. But I actually like the makeup of this bullpen. Bringing in, like you said, Andrew Kittredge. I know Kenyon Milton is hurt right now. And Ryan, what's his name? O'Brien. I mean, this guy has been making waves, and I expect him to really lock batters down. I could see him being in that 8th inning role because of the stuff that he has. Gio, he last year was a bad year because, and I believe you too, in regards to adjusting to the pitch clock and everything. I can't see him being that late guy right now. Maybe 7th inning, 6th, 7th inning, okay. 8th inning, I can see someone like a Ryan O'Brien doing his thing and locking guys down. But they have some guys, and Kittredge, excuse me. But they do have some guys that has stuff. And I think that's been lacking. You'll have maybe 1-2 people who have that stuff. We got about 4 or 5 guys in the bullpen now that got filthy stuff.
And you got Palante added a new pitch this offseason, which he's thrown a couple, here and there during spring training, because that's why Liberatore, he's going to be better in the bullpen because he only has usually 2 pitches, like back in the day, you could get away with being a really good pitcher doing that, but not in today's game. So, yeah, I mean, you get I think it's a pretty decent bullpen, just health and, and then I do think you have some decent arms in the minor leagues too that maybe they're not going to be a starter. I know Brennan's mentioned he doesn't think Tink Hintz is going to be a starter in Major League Baseball once he gets here, but he can see him being a really dominant reliever. So maybe he shows up this year and, helps the team in some way, shape, or form. There's a Takoa Roby that we got from the Rangers. He's a stud too. He's our number 2 or 3 prospect. So, I mean, we have some guys that are in the minor leagues that could honestly come up this year and make a big difference in the bullpen. But as it's put together right now, it's weird. It's if you look back at the 2011, I just feel like our bullpen wasn't amazing. Jason Mott had, he had good years, but I just feel like that was the closer that we won the World Series with. And Arthur Rhodes, and just names like that, Fernando Salas, just weird names that we got in that Colby Rasmus trade. And sometimes those are the guys that help, that do the most work in a positive way.
So for me, what has my attention at about 12:40.
Oh Lord, he got the timestamp.
Yeah, at about 12:40 p.m. The best news that could have ever happened at the start of the season happened, and that is one, Victor Scott has officially been called up to join the Major League roster. He'll be the center fielder for the team. I look forward to being 2 rows behind him at the game next Thursday. But this pretty much changed the whole tone. I told Joe, this changed to me the whole tone of what I had planned going on to tonight's show. No lie. And I'll explain more later on when we get to our predictions and other Cardinal stuff. But this is exactly what was needed for this team. And it's unfortunate that it took an injury to Dylan Carlson for this to happen. but I feel like it was kind of like that like to John Mozeliak, like how many more signs do you need that this guy needs to be up here? Like that's how I felt in regards to the whole ordeal. And then when Carlson got hurt off of an unfortunate situation and injury from yesterday's game, I knew right then and there, boom, you got to have Victor Scott. And I just feel this is the feeling that I wanted to have going into the season, and I'm getting it. And I can care less if he starts off over 20. But the thing is that he doesn't have to hit the ball 100 miles per hour off the bat, exit velo, because if he struggles doing that, he can just bunt the ball and probably get a base hit. That's what this team has been missing. He can find so many ways to make an impact, and that has been something that has been missing for years on this team. And Joe, I'm pretty sure you can attest to this, but you're probably hoping that Bader could have been that guy that if he wasn't hitting the ball hard and hitting the home runs, that he would still find any kind of way to just get on base. And I feel like Victor Scott is that kind of player. He brings that excitement. He brings that jolt of energy that this team is lacking, that this organization has been lacking. And like I said, apologies, and we're sorry that Carlson got hurt, but it shouldn't have had to have been this way where we had to wait till someone else got hurt, because we just wanted to see the front office have a different outlook and maybe be more aggressive in regards to the offseason. And their biggest aggressive move was signing Lynn and Gibson and Gray. Gray, fine. The other two, yeah, but they were forced to make this move. And I just feel like it was a sign, another sign that it had to happen. And now it's here, and I'm excited. And like I said, it just changed the whole outlook that I have for this season, which I'll break down more later on. But that has my attention right now. It is bullpen for you, Victor Scott, and what he's going to bring to this team and how he's going to make others better, I feel. Like,
I know I'll have more to say on that whenever you say your stuff later, but I will say right now is a lot of it just depends how the Cardinals want to play. Like you can have like last year Mason Wynn wasn't here long enough for me to judge how he brought his swagger into the game.
Right.
I do think, like I said later on, I'll get into it more, that you will see more of that, but the Cardinals don't really play like that, and we've all mentioned for a while now that's something that we think's missing from the team. But I will say, I mean, you mentioned Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader did do that. Like when he was slumping, he would try to do anything he could and sticking his tongue out and flipping his hair and, licking his hands and doing the horns. Like he tried to bring some excitement to the team, but at the time he was the only one. So, but I think, I think it's our next topic. I have more to say about it, but it really just depends how the coaching staff and the organization lets these kids do their thing.
So, before we continue on with the Cardinals, we know that there is another story, a bigger story outside of the Cardinals that I want us to talk about right now, what has our attention, Jobo, and that's someone who just signed a huge deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And kind of caught up in some stuff, and that is one Shohei Ohtani. And I know, Jobo, you've been wanting to discuss this, so why don't you let everyone know, for those who may not be aware, what's going on right now with Shohei, and who is that guy to the left of him?
Well, it's funny, is you want me to tell everyone what's going on, but no one knows what's going on.
Right.
It's but this time last week it was his interpreter or ex-interpreter Ipe, who's been like one of his best friends for 10 years now. He did an interview with ESPN came out and said all this stuff, and then like 24 hours later, now Ohtani never had a quote and never did this, and all of it was fake. They take it all back, and when all this was happening, these two were in the dugout in South Korea, giggling, having a good old time, and then yesterday Ohtani spoke to the media through a new interpreter, but was not going to be taking any questions or whatnot. So I feel he should have, MLB or the Dodgers should have just put a statement out there, because, like, I saw Ken Rosenthal today said that he was never going to take or answer questions because it's a federal investigation and a Major League Baseball investigation. So I just feel like they should have just put a statement out for us to read on Twitter, and that was that. But I don't know. It's a whole lot of weird stuff going on right now with Ohtani, and I hope that it distracts them, but I don't think it will. So, but yeah, like there's just so much into the story, and none of it makes sense, and no one knows what's going on. But as I've said in our group chats, nothing's going to happen to Ohtani because Major League Baseball just 100% can't and won't let that happen. Like, I like, he's probably not in just baseball, but he's top 3, the most known athlete. Not just baseball player, but athlete in the entire world, the entire universe, multiverse. Like, everyone knows who Shohei Ohtani is. So MLB is no way, shape, or form going to let anything touch this guy with a 10-foot pole. He's fine.
So for those wondering, real quick, Shohei, and more so his interpreter, his so-called best friend, has been accused of betting on other sports, pretty much. Well, they were saying sports like baseball, but other sports as well. And Ohtani claims that he had no knowledge of it. He has not been betting on any sports. And he is saying that he feels betrayed by his so-called best friend, who, as Joe brought up, is the interpreter. Now, here's what is crazy, or crazier. And I put this in the chat, I think yesterday or a couple days ago, whatever. But this interpreter, it was in his bio or something that stated that he used to work for a different organization. So when people pulled that up, they didn't find him working for this organization. When he said that he used to go to this college years back, someone tried to look it up. College has no recollection that this so-called, interpreter or his best friend was at that college, at that school. So it's like this man really is a con man. Like, he's been portraying to be this guy that Shohei loves and respects and trusts. And he's been accused of privately taking about $4.5 or so million worth from Ohtani's account and being a bookie and putting in bets to other sports and everything. So I know yesterday, Joe, but you were saying how you feel that Ohtani, I ain't gonna say is lying, but you feel like he's holding something back, or he may not be as truthful. Me, until proven otherwise, I'm going to side with Shohei at this time, because he is like us, where he's found out that, hey, this guy didn't go here. This guy wasn't at this place. This guy didn't do this. So maybe Shohei got played. And then people who are saying, well, how do you not know that you're losing $4.5 million out your bank? But when you're making, Shohei, this sound like a what, 700 some kind of $1 million deal, whatever he did over the offseason. When you're making so much money and you may have an accountant, you may have this person to focus on that, you're not going to know every move, which is something that I'm pretty sure now, Joe, he's going to make sure he knows if $1 is removed from his account, he's going to know. But when you're in a certain stratosphere making so much money, yes, it is $4.5 million to him. To us. To him, it could be just $4.50 because now he's making so much money. You may not know exactly everything that's going on. So I'm going to give him right now the benefit of the doubt. especially because he wants to be involved in the investigation. It'd be different if you was like, "Oh no, don't try to include me in anything."
If
Or
he was being P Diddy about it.
right. Oh, I'm gonna fly to Barbados tomorrow. All of a sudden, no. I want to be part of the investigation and find out what's going on. If y'all have any questions, you can ask me. I want to hide, so that's why I feel he's not hiding something. He was genuinely bamboozled like everyone else is. That's just how I feel. But that's been one of the hottest stories or probably the hottest story in baseball right now, is to see if anything will happen to Shohei and how much that will affect the season. Like you said, him being distracted could be an issue for the Dodgers. And as I also brought up, in his contract with the Dodgers, it stated that if anything was to happen where his best friend got fired from the Dodgers, that he could opt out of his contract that very next season. So
I don't think it was his best friend though. I think it was like one of the like co-owners of the organization and someone else.
I did see that too. You're right. Yeah. So it was, I want to say it was like a collection of best friend, a certain owner or agent, or whatever it was. So you could be right about that.
Yeah. I have just so many, like, I don't know, so many thoughts about the whole thing. I thought this tweet was funny. I don't understand how Ippei stole money from Ohtani's account. My son has the same name as me, and he can't even steal money from my account. Like, I understand he's got so much money and whatnot, but again, like I said earlier, he's top 3, probably even top 2, the one athlete in the entire world that everyone knows. I just find it weird and odd, and it doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know. It's gonna be a big topic of discussion probably the whole year.
Yeah.
I just find it funny, and it's because he's a Dodger. If he was a Dodger, I mean, if he was a Yankee and then he is a Dodger, it's gonna happen how it's gonna happen. But again, there's all these weird things going on the internet right now of all this Ohtani stuff, people making rumors up. Oh, I saw him do this and heard him do that. It all starts with some little thing on the internet, and that's why the whole league hates Jose Altuve. Jose Altuve is the nicest guy in the league, and everyone accused him of wearing a buzzer, and that came out the same time the sign stealing scandal happened. And now everyone just makes fun of him for wearing a buzzer when it's been proven that he's never worn a buzzer. and now Altuve gets fuck Altuve everywhere he goes, and it's not deserved. So it's like, sorry if I'm a little salty about it, because Ohtani could possibly have some sort of hand in this whole situation, where again ESPN put out an article with Ohtani quoted in it, and then they took it back. So that's the whole thing that's weird. Ohtani's representatives wanted to be taken out, and then he's going to be treated perfectly. He's God and whatnot, and nothing's going to happen to him. But whatever. That's that's like my last little rave or dig at the whole thing, just because it's not going to go away. I'm sure we'll mention it multiple times throughout the MLB season.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes in a slump, hey, is it because he's thinking of this? Or, it's going to be all kinds of stuff. It's not going away anytime soon. So I'd rather talk about positive baseball things until we get to the negative Cardinals stuff.
I got you. So another thing that had my attention, I saw this last night, and I was like, oh no, wow, what if this happens? So former Cardinal Jordan Hicks, we know that a couple years ago he wanted to be a starter for the Cardinals, and they kind of rushed that process. I think throughout the whole spring training that season, I think it was like 2 years ago, he was in the bullpen. But in like the last few weeks of spring training, they try to get him to go ahead and be a starter because of necessity, due to lack of other pitchers who was hurt, on the DL, IL, whatever you want to call it. course, he got traded from the Cardinals last year, played for the Blue Jays for the rest of the season, and then he got picked up by the San Francisco Giants. But he got signed to be a starter. So this is the first time that he's actually going through a spring training being treated as a starter. Now, granted, it was against the A's, but this what happened last night.
Allen with
he's done really well, so
got him. Got him. Got him. And here's his chance.
So Jordan Hicks pitched 5 innings, no hits, 10 strikeouts. And something that we've been saying, Joe Bo, for the longest time is stop having him be a thrower where he's always throwing 100 miles per hour and allow him to be a pitcher. And seeing this highlight, it kind of like it's like you didn't give him the opportunity to really groom him up to be the pitcher that maybe he should have been, because we just saw 100 miles per hour or 105 and we fell in love with that, and we felt like, oh well, what the pitcher of the pitching staff felt like, man, well, because you got 105, just throw the ball down the plate and see if they can hit it. Except for allowing him to groom himself to be an actual pitcher. And now San Fran's giving him his opportunity to actually be a pitcher. And I think he topped out yesterday at around 97, 98 miles per hour, but he was showing more control and he just showing that filth. Do you see this being an issue, Joe, where the Cardinals dropped the ball and not giving him that full opportunity as a starter to groom him up to be better than what he has shown as a Cardinal?
No, I really don't. Just because, one, I mean, he did get an opportunity in the major leagues to start. Maybe it wasn't a long leash because I think he also got hurt when he was starting, and then they might have put him back in the bullpen after that. But that was the first time in my life that I remember going to a Cardinals game. It was a Jordan Hicks start and being bored because he moved so slow. Again, that was 2 years ago, and I was genuinely bored out of my mind. I was like looking at like, what the hell's going on? You know, it was the slowest, most boring game I've ever been to in my life. And so 2 years ago, time has changed. He's now with his third major league team. You speak with different people and they sign him to be a starter. So you can go into it with a different mindset of not having to throw 105 every time. When he was a closer or a late inning guy for us, that's when you've seen that all the time. Like when he was starting, he wasn't just going up there and, you know, reeling back and throwing triple digits every time. Everyone knows he has good off-speed pitches. Just now he's gonna have to use that more often and not do the 105 every time he's out there on the mound, because you want to see him for 5 to 6 innings. So, no, I mean, I think he got all the opportunity that he could have gotten here when he was healthy, honestly, because he did go through injuries. You know, he had Tommy John and whatnot when he was with us. So I think we got the best that we could with Jordan Hicks. That's my honest opinion about it. I mean, it's kind of like O'Neal. He had all the chances in the world with us. If he somehow stays healthy with the Red Sox all year and has a great year and they somehow make the playoffs and he becomes ALCS MVP, like, I can't be mad about that because he literally got every single opportunity he could here. He just was hurt or didn't take it.
Yeah, I mean, injuries does play a big role in regards to why certain things may not have happened. But one thing I do question within this organization is, do we have the right people in place to make these players better? That is a concern I do have with the organization. Jack,
that's what I think Chaim Bloom's going to help out with.
And Jack Flaherty, he's been having a great spring training. Yes, we do know. Once again, disclaimer: we understand it's spring training. It's different when it's the regular season, but apparently he's been doing better as well. So even before that, though, I do question how the organization is grooming these players, and are they taking the right steps to bring out the best in these guys? And that has to be a real concern. I think last year you brought up about even Jordan Walker. Like, what if he just does not maximize his full potential? Is that on him, or is that on the organization for not putting the right people in place to maximize his skill set?
Yeah, and it's like if you look at I don't want to compare the Flaherty and Hicks to the three people that we always talk about that aren't here anymore, because I don't think it's comparable. I mean, you can, like I said, put O'Neill in that. Like, Flaherty got every single opportunity. He was amazing in 2019. 2021, he was great. And then he was not. He went to the Orioles, had one good start, and then after that, he was not good. So there's some guys that we give them every single opportunity and they just didn't take it.
Right.
We got guys that, we didn't get the opportunity to, and they went out and did their thing. So it's like I can't compare the Hicks and Flaherty to Randy Rosarina and Garcia and whatnot, because those guys never got chances.
Got you. So now let's go ahead and transition back to the St. Louis Cardinals. The season starts Thursday. How confident on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being all, I'm good, it's going to be a great year, no concerns, or 10, oh my God, I can't stand it, I can't, whatever. It's panic mode. Scale of 1 to 10, Jobo, how confident are you in the St. Louis Cardinals as of right now?
I have it as a 5 to 6. 5 to 6. And most of that's mainly because I'm just excited for a new start. You have histories on our side of last year is not going to happen again. We may not be a playoff team, but what we saw last year is 100% not going to happen again. There's no way. So that leads into my positivity. I'm confident in this team. And then another main thing is what I was saying earlier. I wanted to say for this is the youth movement that the Cardinals seem to have. I know everyone makes fun of the AARP pitching staff, and that's fair.
Definitely.
But the bullpen's young, and the position players are young. The guys on the corner are in their 30s, but after that, I mean, you got Gorman, Donnie. Now you're going to have Mason Wynn. He's got a lot of swagger to him. We only got to see him for a little bit last year. You're going to have Jordan Walker, one of the top, young players in the game. And now we got Victor Scott coming up. We all know what he's looked like whenever we've seen him on the field. Even just the videos the Cardinals post, he just seems to be chill, fun, and he has that swagger, So and then you got, whenever they're healthy, you got Dylan Carlson, Lars Nootbaar, Tommy Edman, Ivan Herrera. I don't know how much he's going to play going into the season, but he's young, and he's had a really good, I guess it was Winter Ball League. Right. And he went off today, and mixed with him and Contreras, I think it's going to be great. So they have a pretty good youth movement that, hopefully they take advantage of it and they don't spoil it.
My confident meter, I'm going to put it at a 7. And the main reason why is because of the front office. I'm putting this strictly on the front office because how many years, Joe, have we been told we're saving up for the next year? The next year should be our year. And then the next year comes and it's like, well, where's the excitement? What had happened? You know what I'm saying? And it just seems to me that it's been a repeated process that we're always saying now, what is John Mozeliak thinking? When he says certain things, it's kind of like he's just out of touch with what's going on with the game of baseball.
Breaking news real quick. Breaking news. Give us the noise.
What happened?
Give me the sound. Give me the sound.
Oh, wait a minute. I ain't did this in so long. I gotta get back to it. Let's see. Here we go. Jobo got some.
All right, we got a Jeff Passbaum. Left-hander Jordan Montgomery is going to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Wow.
Which I think I told Brendan the other day that'd be good because they just lost Eduardo Rodriguez. So
Wow. And even that, like that's part of my concern, is because you had opportunities to get Jordan Montgomery or a Blake Snell or a Dylan Cease, and the organization felt like getting the old and gray.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have concerns, because y'all had the opportunity to get these guys at a good deal. You know, look at the contract Blake Snell signed. What, 2 years with the opt out? Jordan, do you know the details yet for the contract for Montgomery?
Not yet. No, it just says pending physical. I'm really curious though, because like just even a week or two ago, it was said he wants that 7-year deal and whatnot. And, you know, I don't know. It's opening days this week. So I'm curious to see if it's going to be like a Blake Snell 2-year with an opt out, or, I mean, that's what the last Boris 4 contracts were, the Chapmans, Bellies, Snell, and let's see what this is going to be.
And like I said, Cardinals could have easily, if they would have been more aggressive, they could have gotten Blake Snell or Dylan Cease, who got traded to the Padres last week all of a sudden, or Jordan Montgomery. That could have shored up a lot of questions in the rotation, which we'll get to later on once again. But that's why I have my level of concern, is that I'm just basing it strictly off of management and how I feel this organization still does not get it. And they used to be known for being on top of their game, being 2 steps ahead, and now it feels like we're behind, 3 steps behind everyone else right now. And that's why my level of concern is at a 7, because we could have had different players on this team.
Hold on, level of concern or your level of confidence? Because you just said concern.
Sorry. My confidence meter is at a 7, which is a level of concern.
So I mean, 7's good though. That's high. Like, again, obviously that's higher than what I said. Even if they didn't sign a Monty, a Snell, so on, if they could have just shown me in the last 2 to 3 years that they're capable of going out and being able to make a legit move during the deadline, then I would feel a little bit better. But you got to think now with the bigger playoff bracket,
right?
You have to compete
Yes.
with the Astros, the Phillies, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Padres, like so many teams. Everyone is going to be wanting. I'm trying to think of a pitcher that might even be on the trade. Everyone's going to want Shane Bieber if he's healthy whenever the deadline comes. Everyone. What do we have that the Guardians are going to want? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, if they could have just shown that they can go out there and make a legit decent move, then yeah, let's see. The deal will pay him $25 million this season and includes a vesting option for a 2nd year. So it's pretty much like Blake Snell's.
Right. And that's something that we could have handled, but no, we're scared to do that. We want to get the older guys who we feel can give us innings. But the problem is the 2 guys he brought in damn near led the league in giving up the most hits and runs. So it's like, what is going on here? But I digress.
And we always have to try to remind ourselves, though, like, because I'm with you, but we always have to remind ourselves of they have a decision. I'm sure every team had an interest in him. How could you not after watching him last year? But if he doesn't want to go there, he doesn't want to go there. And there were people speculating he doesn't want to do the whole Cardinal thing again. And if that's the case, then we could have offered him everything. He wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, that's true. So let's get right into the next segment. Excitement. What has you excited and what has you concerned for the St. Louis Cardinals? Let's start off with the excitement first.
Start with the good.
Yeah.
So 3 things. Is that what we're doing? 3 things.
No, No, that's next coming up.
Oh, okay. Well, the excitement, like I said, the youth movement, that's the main thing right there. Another one is Goldie. It's funny as we talk so bad about Goldie last year of having bad years, but if Jordan Walker has a year that Goldie had last year, then I'm like, okay, we're in a really good spot. Like so they're obviously going to be better, and I'm excited to see. It sounds so like weird because I talk so negatively, but I'm excited to see how Ali's going to do.
Look at you.
How he's going to manage the year now that he has Danny D in the dugout with him and whatnot, and he had to have learned something from last year, right? You would think. So I'm excited to see how he handles himself, handles the clubhouse. They got the veteran leadership that he apparently needs to be in the clubhouse with them. So I'd say those are my things right there.
So yes, to the movement, the youth movement. This is what it was needed for this team, was a jolt of new energy, which, as you brought up earlier, and shouts out to our favorite fan, Miss Dub, showing love to the crew.
Hi, Miss Dub.
But as you brought up, Jordan Walker, Mason Wynn, Victor Scott, Nolan Gorman, Brendan Donovan, those guys are the future. They are the core of this team. And I'll bring up something later on our next subject more into it. But I'm definitely excited about this youth movement. It's been needed, and this could be something that could change that could change the organization for years to come. So I'm definitely excited. And to add on, because I'm glad you brought up Ali Marmol, because last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, it was talked about that he signed an extension. It came up all of a sudden. People like, what the hell? Why? Da, 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 da. I had no problem with the extension. I'm pro Marmol. I don't feel like he deserves all the blame from last year. I feel like he was just given a bad hand because of the organization. But one thing that I do want to see, which will have me more excited for the season coming up, is I want to see Marmol tell Mozeliak, and I know it's going to be hard, but I know that he's Mo's guy. But I want him to just be able to have the full reins of just focusing on managing and not worried about analytics and what this, whatever. Go off the field of the game, except for worrying about, well, after three at bats or after 3 times through the order, then I'm gonna automatically take out my pitcher because that's just what the stats say. Go off the field of the game. Don't go off of what Mozeliak or the agent or whatever else is saying. Go off the field of the game, because I feel like that's his biggest trait. I feel he has the pulse of the team. He has the pulse of the field of the game. And like you brought up earlier, Jobo, having Danny Descalso right there with him as well, going to give him that knowledge, because he don't need to have people say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. You need to have someone to say, that may not be the right time, or don't look at the stats right now. Go off of how he's pitching to this guy, or how this person is batting right now. Stick with him. Don't take him out the game. Don't just be like, because it's the top of the 9th inning or top of the 8th, and Jordan Walker already had 3 at bats, that now you want to just automatically take him out the game and put in someone else when he's doing good in right field. He's looking right. Don't just automatically assume after 5, 6, 7 innings he out the game. You know what I'm saying? Go off the field of the game. And if he does that and don't worry about going off of stats, I feel he's going to have a great year. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the youth movement and with Ali Marmol and the coaching staff. I really hope that it really makes a difference. So up next, we have, I look forward to this one, 3 things you want to see from the St. Louis Cardinals team 2024 edition. And for those watching for the first time, thank you very much. Leave your comments, share this stream. If you love baseball, you got a favorite player, favorite team, leave the comments, let us know what's happening, and we'll be happy to engage with you in the conversation because this show is for y'all. So, Jobo, 3 things you want to see from the Cardinals.
Better defense. Better base running. And then this one's broad, but just better organization decisions. So that can be from the top all the way down to a Danny Descalso, Ali Marmol, and obviously the players. But mainly those first two, though. Those first two, I just feel like and I don't like the whole Cardinal way thing. I hate that phrase and Whitey ball thing. Like I don't know. I understand it's called Whitey ball, and that's what I want to get back to. But I just want to erase it all and just start our own thing in 2024. Of like, I want to see that good defense and that that great base running. We're gonna have the guys on the team that can do it, especially Victor Scott and Mason Winter up here the whole year. You know, and even whenever Dude's back and Edmonds back, Donnie can swipe some bags. I want to see that again. You know, we haven't seen it in a while. So those are my big two though, because the pitching was awful last year, but the defense did not help either. So, and they made bigger bags, guys. Freaking use it to your advantage. Like there's no reason, and we've talked about it before. Mo's pretty much was like, oh well, we don't have to do anything during spring training. We'll just figure out the new rules as we go. Well, you didn't take advantage of it because the bases are literally bigger. We literally had a guy steal 70 bags last year, okay? There's probably going to be 80 to 90 this year. It's going to happen. Take advantage of what the game's giving you. So hopefully that's something they do.
Yeah, I like your top 3. So mine is kind of reflects off of the excitement. Oh, you know what? Actually, I forgot to go over the concerns. We'll go back to that in a second, Jobo. But 3 things that had me that I want to see from the Cardinals. Excuse me. Goes back to the youth movement. We need to have, and I hate to do this in regards to the comparisons, but in order for us to have a very successful season, I'm going to compare maybe like the Braves into this. We need to see Jordan Walker be on an absolute tear, just like Ronald Acuna. We need to have a young person.
Stop.
Wait. Hold on. I
don't lose viewers.
hey. Sorry if y'all don't believe me. But like I said, in order for us to have a very successful season, the youth movement, the young players, I don't want to put the pressure on them, but sometimes young players want to have that pressure because pressure bursts pipes, and we need to have that. Not saying anyone is Pujols, but what I'm just saying is it would be great if Jordan Walker can elevate his game to where he's getting to that point where he is that go-to guy. And I'm going to explain more of that later on, which part of the concerns, which I forgot to do in the last segment. But yes, the youth movement, Nolan Gorman needs to go crazy like Kyle Schwarber, hitting bombs. But you got to make contact. You know, if you're batting 3rd or 4th in the lineup and you got men on base, you can't be striking out. We need you to make contact and do your thing. Be productive, because that's what this youth movement is all about, is being more productive. Not doing what you saw in the last 3-4 years with this Cardinals team, especially with number 2 on my top 3 things, which is hitting with runners in scoring position. But going back, youth movement. Gotta see Jordan Walker elevate to the next level. Gorman being more productive. Mason Wynn, you ain't got to hit 300. Just hit the ball hard. Spray the ball down the field, around the field. Use your wheels. Show that defense. You're going to be just fine. Victor Scott, have a have a big season and be like, whoa, where did you come from? Kind of like the center fielder from the Braves. What's his name, Jobo? The
Michael
rookie
Harris, the second.
Michael Harris. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta say, I'm not saying you gotta have 25 home runs, but what I'm saying is be that factor out there on the field and use your wheels, get on base, do your thing. Brandon Donovan, you're healthy again. Keep doing what you're doing. Just stay healthy. We ain't even talk about Lawrence Newbar because he's been, hurt as well. But when he is healthy, he is very productive. But Wynn, Walker, Gorman, Scott, Donovan, I really depend on those guys to really step up and be a main factor in for this Cardinals team, Jobo.
I think you could have gone. You could have gone without me interrupting you if you just didn't say Ronald Acuna.
Well,
Come on now. Don't be putting that pressure on Jaywalk, okay? He's
but the whole thing is that great players want to have that pressure.
I get that, but Ronald Acuna just went 30-70 and like 100 and an MVP.
But we've seen glimpses when he's right. Jordan Walker has that kind of skill set, and this is also going to be big for him. Is that he has to realize, don't take every at bat where you're trying to pull the ball. You have natural God-given strength where you can hit the ball anywhere you want to on the field. If they're pitching you away, hit the ball away, it's going to still go over the wall. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a hitting instructor or coach or whatever, before every game, when they in the batting cages, I'm telling him, hit the ball the other way every time. Find a way to take the ball the other way, because then there's no way they can hide from pitching to you. Because okay, they're gonna think, oh, I'm trying to throw it away, off speed away, and he gonna be like, oh, sorry for you, blink. So then when they go inside on him, he gonna turn that ball into big backland. So my thing is make it hard for pitchers to want to pitch to you. If you focus on hitting the ball opposite field, which Acuna does a very great job in doing, and other elite players, take the ball the opposite field. Focus on that being your main swing right now, because naturally you're going to pull the ball. That's just natural for a right-hand hitter. But if you focus on hitting the ball opposite field, that's going to change your whole trajectory in regards to your career. If he does that, my God, it's a wrap. And then that's going to bump him from being in the 7th spot to possibly hitting 2, 3, or 4. Which if that happens, watch out. Watch out if that happens. But now, number 2, hitting with runners in scoring position. That has been our biggest issue for God knows how long. For those who don't know, if there's a man on second and a man on third base with less than 2, well, no, it don't matter how many outs it is. But for real, it's been a problem and it's been less than 2 outs. But anytime there's a man on second and a man on third, we have had the hardest time getting runners home. We either strike out, or we have these little weak pop-ups, or possibly a double play. This Cardinals team need to show up when it's men in scoring position, runners in scoring position. If we do that, that could change our season from maybe 87, 88 wins to 90-plus wins if we just do our job with runners in scoring position. And it goes down to guys like Goldie, Arenado. Contreras, I have no concerns about him. Second year, Jobo, I think he's relaxed. He's good to go. And he's learning slowly but surely in regards to framing pitches better. You see now he's integrated, being on one knee, and he's catching better. I think he's going to be just fine. And he's a guy that takes the ball to opposite field a lot, which is going to be crucial. But we just have to improve on hitting with runners in scoring position. If we do that, Oh my God, this team will be freaking amazing. Which leads to number one. Now, Joe, don't laugh at me when I do this, because this is kind of like a little bit off the wall. This is like a personal request for me, because I just feel like it just hasn't been the same with this team. But prior to the 2019 season, Joe Bo, now Valley Sports Midwest, but it was at first Fox Sports. The Cardinals home games, they will always have this view. The center overhead view, which I just love that view, because you saw, not saying you can't see everything with other views, but I just love this view. And I feel like ever since that year, this is back in 2019, that's the last year they had this overhead view, the team just has not been performing the same. It just hasn't been that same old Cardinal way team. And now they've been having, ever since then, this view where it's lower, and it's offset. It's okay, it's cool, but I just prefer to have this view. I feel like if they, for some reason, brought this view back, I just feel like it's gonna be some good old juju that's gonna happen.
I mean, I miss that view too, but I don't know if it would help us. 2019 was also the year Ozuna fell off and
Yeah.
shook the world.
That's true, but just a personal request and a bonus request. A bonus is every road game they should have the navy blue caps. Every road game, doesn't matter who we playing, just rock the navy blue Cardinals caps on the road. Every road game, keep the red at home.
The navy blues, but they do give me good memories of like 2011 and then 2012 against the Nats. Like it does give me good memories. I do like that look better on the road, but yeah, I don't know who decides that stuff.
Yeah. So going back real quick, concerns. We talk about the excitement. What was the concerns that you had for the team?
One I will take out of John Mozeliak's mouth is pitching. And then another one, I put injuries, because the year's not starting off too hot with injuries. I know, obviously, with the amount of injuries in the outfield, it gets fans excited for Victor Scott. But again, it sucks that we had to lose an entire outfield's worth, and now an infielder's going to have to play in the outfield just for that to happen. So that sucks. And then, obviously, the guy you spent the most money on this offseason, your guy that's going to be your ace and really help you out this year, he's not, he's on the 15-day IL, so who knows when he's going to be back. And then you lose a big reliever that you signed, and who knows how long he's going to be out. So lots of injuries before the season even starts. I got a little nervous today when they took Goldie out of a spring training game.
Right. I peeped that.
And then the second inning, I just messaged Brendan at work. I was like, is he okay? And he's like, I think he's just taking the rest of the day off. So, and we haven't heard otherwise, but it got me nervous. So injuries and pitching are my two biggest concerns right now.
So I do agree. The pitching is definitely a concern for me. Now, today changed a little bit of my mindset with Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson was out there pitching like Kyle Hendricks during his prime years with the Cubs. If he does what he did today throughout the season, Joe Bo, I'm good with Kyle Gibson and the season and this upcoming season. Like I said, he showed some filth. He showed some confidence. Like I said, he was pitching like Kyle Hendricks from the Cubs. And if he does that, we good. I know he was working on stuff doing spring training, doing the prior games, and he was getting lit up like crazy. But today was a perfect day to show that, hey, you know what? I'm ready. I got y'all. And if he does that, we should be good.
Sorry, I was just going to say it reminded me. I'm not like, oh my gosh, Kyle Hendricks had a good spring training start to feeling good, but it reminded me of 2019, Miles Michaelis spring training, first spring training with the team was ass. It was bad. And then I remember that last spring training start, Danny Mac talked about it. It was really good.
Right.
And then he had a really good year. So, and Kyle Gibson didn't suck last year. He was good last year on a really good team in the best division in baseball. So, I mean, that's not who Kyle Gibson has been his entire career, you know, a really, really, really good pitcher. So we'll just see what happens this year, and hopefully we get last year Gibson.
Which leads me to my two biggest concerns. Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt.
I think you're a drama queen. I'm just going to go out and say it right now.
I'm not.
No. I think you're a drama queen for thinking out of...
I'm not.
You have Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado as your concern list for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yes, I do.
There are probably about 5 other things I could say you could have said, but you say Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt.
Because those two are what? Highest, like top 3 highest paid players on our team. And what happened last year with Goldie? How was his year last year?
Like I said earlier, it was still a really good year for a Major League Baseball player.
Was it a Goldie type year?
No, but the whole team wasn't a St. Louis Cardinal type year. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but the whole thing is that you have to put your best players in a certain different level. Did Arenado have a great year last year?
No, he had a good year.
But
they both had good years.
It wasn't a Arenado. He would tell you, both players would tell you that those were not typical Arenado and Goldie years. And the worst thing that happened with Goldie was win that MVP, because everyone expected the follow-up year to be very similar, which it wasn't. Even on his MVP year, September of that season, all the way to the playoffs, he disappeared. All last year, he didn't have one good stretch of baseball where it was like he's straight locked in. And now I know it's spring training, but it's one thing when you're trying to work on something and maybe you're not hitting for as much power and hitting home runs and hitting line drives. But this guy's having a hard time hitting fastballs, and he's not getting any older. Any younger. Now today he had the one at bat. It was promising, and maybe he was like, you know what? I felt good. Maybe I'm there. And I want to
go back and look at the 2022 Paul Goldschmidt spring training. Go back and look at his spring training in 2022.
Oh no, I already know what happened. But like I said, but you talking about when he what's this? Okay, 2024. You talking about he was 34 years old. He is not getting any younger. That's why I just said earlier. He's not getting any younger, and he's trying to adjust to how pitchers are pitching him differently now compared to how he was during his MVP season. There is very possible that he could start going on a big decline. Now, like I said, I want to be wrong. This is not being a drama queen. This is just off of what I'm seeing in front of my eyes. And ever since his MVP season, when in September and all last year, he was not that guy. He maybe had a few moments last year where he was doing his thing, but overall, it was not to the standard of us saying he's our best player, which he's getting paid to be our best player. We have the expectation of him being our best player, and he did not show that. And now, as time has gone by, like I said, I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong, and I hope he comes out and hits 35 home runs and hits 300, whatever. But at the same token, he may not be the same player that he was. And that's why I say go back to number 3, where the young players, it's time for them to step up and say, you know what, Goldie, Arenado, we appreciate y'all. Y'all been doing y'all thing for years. We're glad that we have you on the team, but we're going to start stepping up our game too. You know what I'm saying?
They should do that regardless. That's like That's like the thing though. Like even going back to 2019, is we had Goldie, and then everyone was all excited that we got Ozuna, but you still needed more than just Ozuna and Goldie. Like right now, like again, last year, those two, and even throw Contreras in there, all had really, 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 really good years. Like they had, I know that Goldie and Nato are going to tell you that they could have been better last year. But again, the whole freaking team could have been better last year. Like from in every aspect of the game, literally every single aspect of the game, they all could have been better, and they weren't. Obviously they're going to say they could have been better. I know for a fact they're going to be better this year. I would bet money on it. Sorry, Otani. I would bet money on it right now that they're going to have better years this year.
And hey, like I said, Joe, I want you to be right. I just have to see it, and I just
Who's also going to have a good year? He's not gonna have like a, oh my gosh, greatest guy on the team, blah blah. I bet Carpenter has an okay year for what he's getting paid. I guarantee at one point this year I'm gonna be coming on the show with my salsa shirt and be like, hey Bunny, look at this, because I guarantee he's gonna have a decent year.
I wouldn't put it past him, but here's the thing: is that will it be a concern that he has to play a lot of games? Period. Because when he was signed, when it was announced that he was going to be back to the team, the expectation was for him just to be a leader on the bench. Like the expectation was for him to always be on the field. So if he's playing a lot, shouldn't that be a concern that he is playing a lot?
Yeah, but me and you talked about it. Shoot, I don't know. We haven't had a baseball episode in a while, but I mean, me and you both said before that if Brendan Donovan's playing in the outfield at all this year, it's a concern. And guess what? He's going to be our starting left fielder this year. So it's already starting off that way.
Right. And I agree. That is a problem because I don't want to see Donovan in the outfield. He needs to be either DHing or second base. But going back to Nato, excuse me, he said that he got in his head the start of last year, and he even admitted that he's not that vocal leader. He's just someone who just comes to work and do his thing. I'm glad that he acknowledged that. But my thing is once again, you were signed, you signed a contract to be one of the best players on the team. So yes.
To be fair though, we didn't pay him that much money.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, because he has the reputation of being one of the best players in all of baseball. Now, no matter if everyone else is sucking, everyone should still be able to say, well, at least we still got Goldie and Nato that we can kind of bounce off them when we are down. And Nato and Goldie both admitted that the pressure of last year got to them. So that's my concern. Is that if you're saying the pressure got to y'all last year, what's going to happen if y'all get to a rocky start this year? Are you going to just be out of it already because of your mental state not being all the way in? Hold on, Joe. There was a moment during the season last year when Arenado finally started taking the ball the other way. It was that stretch where they had that series in Pittsburgh. Then he went to Tampa Bay, and he was hitting Oppo Taco home runs. And I'm like, that's the Arenado that we need to have. Because if he does that, his numbers will go up. He won't be pulling little weak ground balls left field or hitting little weak shots. He can take the ball the other way. But all of a sudden, maybe it was an injury, maybe it was mental, but it got to him. My thing is I want to see these two guys step up, men in scoring position, or last opportunity, bottom of the ninth. We want to see these guys be the guy. And right now, I'm just not confident that those two guys are still those guys. Like I said, I want to be wrong. But right now, I just have not seen it over the last couple of years, especially when it comes down to pressurized situations where you are expecting those two guys to be the guy. And we have not seen that enough. That's my biggest concern. And I hope that I'm wrong. But right now, I'm just not confident going in right now saying, okay, when everyone else is down, those two guys are going to still show up and show out. I'm not there yet, but I want to be wrong. Now you go ahead, Jobo.
Well, a couple things real quick. I think you're the only person in the world that thinks that. Two.
I don't think so.
I'm saying as a top 3 concern for the Cardinals. I think so. But you said within the last couple of years, well, 2022, Goldschmidt had 115 RBI, so he obviously was hitting with runners in scoring.
September to October. Nothing.
I know. I'm just saying though. You said in the last couple of years, the dude won an MVP in 2022.
I also have stressed 3 times now about stress that what did he do when it mattered the most in September and October? Nothing. What did they do?
How many runs did we score in the playoffs that year?
And whose fault is that?
Everyone's fault.
Including your best players. How are you the MVP from freaking April to September, but don't show up? Like, and not trying to put him in the same category as him, but people were at LeBron's neck the first year he was in Miami, and he had a wonderful season, but then he didn't show up at all in the playoff. I mean, in the finals, and he got ridiculed. So if you are there to be one of the best players and you want a freaking MVP and you don't get one freaking hard hit from September to October, and especially in the playoffs, then yes, you should get ridiculed. And Nolan Arenado has done a damn thing in the playoffs since he's been a Cardinal. So my thing is, we want to see y'all show up in pressurized moments. Yes, Goldie had an MVP season. Congratulations. But that doesn't mean a thing when you don't do anything in September and October where it matters the most. I want to see what you do in pressurized moments. That's what makes you from great player to superstar to that guy. And that's what this team is missing, is that guy. And I want to see those two step up and be the guys. And if you can't, hey, so be it. And that's why it goes back to the youth movement. And I want to see Walker. I want to see Gorman step up and be like, you know what? It's time to take over. Because that's what's missing with this team. And that's why we haven't been able to elevate to different heights. That's why we're kind of at a standstill with, okay, we got good guys. Oh, they're great players. But we're not seeing them elevate the team and say, you know what? Get on my back. I got y'all. Let's go. We're just saying, oh, well, we're all in a funk together, and it's just not part of my style to lead the team and say, come on, guys, I got y'all. No, we're lacking that. And I want to see that this year. That's it.
I could go on this whole thing with you for a while. I'm sure we will all year. Last thing I'll say about that part is I don't think it's right to be like, okay, it's the young guys that will take over. It's gonna have to be a whole damn team that's gonna have to do it. And that's, anyways, you said if the you said something like the Cardinals, it's a matter of them winning like 87 games, but if they do something, they could win 90. I think you're being very positive thinking for this team to be able to win 87 games, because I don't think this team's winning 87 games.
Ooh. Okay.
You're being a little too confident, I think.
Ooh. Okay.
I'll give them at most like 82.
Wow.
Hey, that's 12 games better than last year. That's a big step up.
Facts. Ooh. Well,
I don't know what this division's gonna be like, man.
With that being said, let's go ahead and actually, before we get to that, gotta talk about this real quick. Yada yada. No. So all throughout the before the season started, spring training, the word was that Yadier Molina was supposed to have been with the team for spring training. As of today, there has not been any sign of Yadier Molina. Do you think, Jobo, that it has anything to do with Ali Marmol signing that extension and maybe Yachty realizing that maybe he may not get his shot as a manager being with the Cardinals?
No, because I mean, Ali could still be fired after opening day if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the extension, and from what they're saying and what from riders are saying is they pretty much did that just for a load of confidence for Ali and the players. That's all that was. You know, we're not just going to be, you know, blaming him and this and that right away. He could still be fired by the All-Star break. Who knows? I don't know what the whole Yachty situation is. I really don't. I mean, obviously he's got other commitments. He's got a family. He's got a son that's playing baseball. He has a basketball team. He's been coaching winter ball and whatnot. So I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of drama behind it, though. I really don't. I just think it's because whenever they came to a conclusion on whatever contract or deal there is, it was pretty much he'll come and go as he pleases. And so far, he hasn't came.
And I think that's unfortunate because the plan, especially when he signed on to be, you know, a part of the staff, you know, in regards to management or whatever, being the what was it, the Pro Bowls assistant, whatever.
Yeah, something, I don't know.
But the idea in which everyone thought was that, hey, I'm going to be there in spring training, whether it was while it was pitchers and catchers, but just being able to spend time with Contreras, spend time with Herrera, and just show them more things that they may not have been aware of. That was my expectation, just to be in that presence of them and show them some other things. And it's very unfortunate that whatever the reason is that he has not been with the team. And not saying he may not be there throughout this, you know, throughout the season. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I just had more of an expectation and hope that he would have been at least a few days with the team already, and he has not. So
it's like a couple of years ago or last year, like we were all excited about Matt Holliday, and then it never happened, you know. So like I tried not to get too happy or excited about this because I see the possibility of it really helping out our pitchers and our catchers, but why get excited if like nothing was set in stone? It was really weird when it was announced, and like they pretty much said he can come and go as he pleases. So I don't know, it was just a weird situation.
Yeah. And up next, now people are wondering, okay, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Y'all based in St. Louis. Everything is pretty much St. Louis. Why in the hell does Joe have on an Astros jersey? So, Jobo, for those watching for the first time, just give them a little bit of a backstory about your love affair, your cheating scandal with the Atnos plan.
Oh gosh.
Your love affair with the Astros.
If you would have gave me a heads up, I would have got all my Bigios out. But it happened when the Astros were in the NL Central with us, and I just loved watching the rivalry between the two. But it wasn't a close rival like the Cubs. You know, like I had a cousin who's a Cubs fan. It was gross and yucky, and didn't like it. The Astros, it was a very gruesome rival, but they're down south. Don't gotta worry about that. And fell in love with Craig Biggio and the Buzz and Bees. I mean, Biggio is my all-time favorite baseball player, not just Astros, but baseball player of all time. The reason why I would wear number 7. And so it just stuck. You know, in 2005, I was heartbroken when the White Sox swept them in the World Series, and that was Biggio's last chance. And then it just kept going, and now they're in the golden era of Astros baseball, and yes, got my Bregman jersey on right now, and I'm obviously excited about them. Why would I not be?
And now leading up to the 2024 season, what are your thoughts in regards to this squad? I know that they have a new manager. What's his name?
Joe Espada.
There we go. He's taking over from the legendary Dusty Baker. Your thoughts in regards to their season and what you expect to see from them?
Well, I'm excited about Espada because he's been with the team for a couple of years now. All the guys are used to him and they love him. They've had some pitching injuries early on. Like they're going to be without Justin Verlander right away. Lance McCullers, obviously, Urquidy, and then Luis Garcia. But Luis Garcia, with hopefully no setbacks, he'll be ready to go probably by All-Star game, I guess. All-Star break. But they have such a deep pitching staff. I can't be too concerned about it because they're still going to start with Fromber, Christian Javier. They're going to have JP France and Hunter Brown. So, I mean, I think they're going to be okay as long as they can give them 5 to 6 innings. They have Montero, Abreu, Presley, and Hader in the bullpen. So, I mean, Hader was a very big acquisition from them to go with Presley and Abreu. And Abreu's like the one reliever in baseball that not everyone knows, and he's probably top 5, one of the best relievers in baseball. And then lastly, I mean, the lineup. There's 2 of them right there. Altuve, Jordan. I think Jose Abreu is going to have a better complete season this year. He had a great playoffs last year.
Oh my God, his playoff run was amazing. He went crazy.
Yeah, he was great in the playoffs. Everyone was concerned about his just regular season because he just wasn't. It wasn't that he wasn't hitting home runs; he just wasn't hitting at all. But he got in a little tear there at the end, and the playoffs were great. Alex Bregman's on a contract year. He's been just hitting the ball all over the place here recently. Kyle Tucker, Chas McCormick. I mean, the list goes on and on. Jeremy Pena changed up his batting stance a little bit, and then Yainer Diaz. They now have a catcher that isn't just in there for their defense, but he's also there because he smashes the ball all over the place. So, and they got Victor Carantini to be the backup. So, I don't know. I can't really pick a place that's not good. I mean, like, if you want to say they're starting rotation, but again, a couple of these guys are coming back, and they got some prospects too that have been throwing the ball well. So, not many concerns on my end, at least, and hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, I see another successful year from the Astros. So should be exciting out there in the AL West. I think the AL West is going to be a very deeper competitive league division. Excuse me.
The Rangers rookies, man. I mean, Evan Carter last year, he came up obviously, and he showed what he's about in the playoffs. But they drafted 3rd or 4th overall last year, and they drafted Wyatt Langford, and the kid's been going off, and he made the opening day roster. So that sucks for there you go. That's my biggest concern for the Astros is Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford, because now they're doing this thing of like what the Astros did in the early 2010s is drafting Correas and Bregman. Yeah, so now that's what the Rangers are they spent big on Semien and Seager, and now they got Adolis and Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter. So yeah, that's my concern, I guess, with the Astros.
All right. Well, it's time for predictions and postseason awards. Let's start out with our predictions. And on the screen now, we have the American League. So we'll start from top to bottom, Jobo. And if you want to, feel free first, if you want to just kind of discuss each division and what you're seeing, what someone that's highlighting the each division, and then we can go with our predictions. For those who don't know, for the playoffs, you have your divisional winners, and then from each league, you'll have 3 wild card slots. So once again, you're picking the best team from the East, the Central, and the West, and then 3 additional teams, which are the wild card. So what are your thoughts, Joe Bo, in regards to the American League East?
American League East, I still think is the best division in all of baseball. The Red Sox, they're probably going to stay right there where they're at in that little graphic. they didn't do much. They got all excited with a new president of baseball operations. I almost said Pobomo. thought they were going to start spending, and they didn't do anything really. And I know a lot of the fans in Beantown are very upset. But let's see. So you got the Blue Jays. They made some good moves, and I mean the lineup's still pretty stacked, so they're always going to be there. The Yankees, they added Juan Soto, who's, I mean, with the short porch there in New York, he's probably going to hit 40 plus homers, and him and Judge back to back. It's going to be crazy. But they're going to be without Garrett Cole for the first month, I think. So, I mean, they're just going to have to rely on their bats, I think, early on. And then the Rays, no one understands how or why it happens, but they continue to be good. They lost half the rotation, I feel like, to Tommy John last year, and they're probably still going to have a top rotation somehow. And then you got the Baltimore Orioles, who won over 100 games last year, and they're just stacked with young talent. Jackson Holliday didn't make the major league roster. It's probably something to do with service time because he had a really good spring. So
Great spring.
Yeah, so we'll see when he comes up. I would assume it would be the first half of the year, and he's probably going to have a great career just like his father did. But how I have it going is I do think the O's are going to win the division again. Going to have the Rays in second, Blue Jays in third, Yankees in fourth, and Red Sox in fifth.
Got you. So for my American League East, I have also the Baltimore Orioles winning that division. I do look forward to seeing Soto doing his thing at the in the short porch in Yankee Stadium. I think it's going to be amazing. But I do have the Orioles as the better overall team and winning the American League East. All right. So what about the American League Central?
American League Central is going to be talked about just like how the NL Central is going to be talked about. You know, it's probably going to be mid 80s to lower 90 win team that wins the division. Guardians, they're usually right there. They're like the Rays too. They always have decent pitching. That's usually what helps their team. The Twins had a really good year last year. They got some good young talent with Eduardo Julian, Royce Lewis. I mean, Carlos Correa is there. He's not young, but he's still a stud. I think the Tigers, they're going to be, well, they had a really good spring, which obviously as Cardinals fans, we know that does not mean a single thing if you looked at last year. But I don't know that, you know, they added Kenta Maeda, Jack Flaherty. They got Tariq Skubal, who's a stud, and they got some young. Casey Mize is coming back too, I think. So, but they just got some good young talent, and I think they'll be exciting to watch. You got the Royals, who I think will be better this year, and then the White Sox, who they're probably going to stay right there as well in the fifth spot. They just last week out of nowhere they traded Dylan Cease. Like, I didn't think that was going to happen until the All-Star break, and now he's a San Diego Padre. But with them, I still somehow, I made this list a while ago. I think I'm going to stick to it just because of history, but I think the Guardians are still going to somehow win that division.
Okay. I am going to go with the Minnesota Twins. I feel that they are going to win that division.
Yeah, I have them in second. They did lose Sonny Gray. Who else? They lost Michael A. Taylor, who had a pretty good year for them last year. I can't remember. They lost one of their catchers, I believe, too. Oh, and they also traded Jorge Polanco to the Mariners, which was a really weird.
That was weird.
Yeah, weird out of nowhere trade. He'll probably destroy the Astros in that division now with, you know, in the AL West. But it was a weird trade. But I still think the Twins are going to be good. And who knows? Like, it was a toss-up for me with the Twins and the Guardians. But I still think the Guardians will somehow win that division.
All right. And the American League West.
In the AL West, you got the, sadly to say, defending world champions, Texas Rangers. Mike Trout team. That's all I'm going to say, Mike Trout's team. The Seattle Mariners, who I think their offseason was kind of weird, but looking at it now, like their whole roster as a whole, I think they're still going to be a top 3 team. The Astros and then the Oakland A's. A's are going to be top 3 worst team in the league. Like, it's sad, but that's just how it goes. Angels are going to be 4th because they suck too. But I can't not pick the Astros, and I generally believe the Astros will win that division. It's probably going to be close like it was last year, but I can't not pick them.
I'm going to say the Rangers are going to win the West. I feel last year's playoff run, of course, they are once again the reigning, defending World Series champs. Sometimes, and then having Bruce Bochy, that's just a big plus. You know how he is as a manager, but I'm really big on when you get that experience in the postseason. It lights a fire and it makes you want more, and it gives you that confidence that you can do big things in big moments. You know what it takes to get there, and now that they've gotten there, I feel like they're going to be like, "Hey, we here for the long run." Max Scherzer should be available more this year than he was last year. Hopefully, with better health. DeGrom, he should be back as well with the Rangers. I know they didn't sign Montgomery more so because of the pending TV deal that may go down or may not go down. So that kind of scared them from maybe signing Montgomery to a long-term deal. But I do like the offense. Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager. I like that squad, and I just think that exposure from what they have last year is going to make them better and hungrier this year, and especially now that they are the prey and not the predator. That's kind of going to have them be hungrier for next year. So I'm going to say the Rangers in the American League West. So now, who do you have as the top wild card team in the AL?
So I don't have like a top. I have it just hold on. So I have my 2 buys. Okay, so my wild card teams I have are the Rangers, Rays, and Blue Jays.
Rangers, Rays, so 2 teams from the East. Okay, got you. So my wild card is the Astros, the Yankees, and surprisingly, you're gonna be like, what the hell, Smooth? But I feel like with them adding this coach to their team, it's gonna change how to go about doing things. And players are gonna play better, smarter, harder. And he's always just been successful no matter where he goes. So I'm saying the Angels are gonna surprise and be a wild card team this year because I really like Ryan Washington. So I'm going to pull for him.
What the hell, Smoot? What? Oh my!
Yes, I am going to pull for Ryan Washington and the Angels to be that 3rd wild card spot. Hey, I mean, it's the reason why they expanded the wild card, and it's for stuff like this. So I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to say the Angels are going to surprise because of Ryan Washington.
Oh Lord, I'm trying to think of like something. I will like wear a Cubs hat on a stream if that happens.
Oh boy, put a pin there. Here we go.
I'm not gonna buy one. I'm sure my cousin could give me one, but I will wear Cubs attire if the Angels make the playoffs.
All right, we shall see. Now let's go to I'm sorry. Well, no, we'll save the AL champ till later on. Let's go to the NL side. National League East. What are your thoughts, Joe Bo?
NL East is probably the 2nd or 3rd best division in the league. You have the Bravos. For whatever reason, they could beat up on my Astros at 21 in the playoffs, but they can't get past the damn Phillies. So,
right.
But I mean, they don't have a single flaw on their team. It's quite insane because most of it's homegrown. The Marlins, I think they're going to take a step back this year because they've had a lot of pitching injuries and they did not really do anything this offseason. The Nationals, they'll probably still be the last place team, but I think they're going to have a decent year this year. They have a really good bullpen, and they have a lot of very enticing prospects that are probably going to make their debuts this year. The Mets, I don't even know what to say about the Mets. They had a really weird offseason. They kind of added just a lot of stuff for like depth, like a lot of depth moves. They did get JD Martinez over the weekend, which is I like that signing a lot for anyone. So,
Right.
you know, that's helped there for Alonso and Lindor, but I don't know that their pitching is kind of questionable. And then you got the Phillies, which they've been one of the more fun teams to watch in baseball the last 2 years, especially in the playoffs. And they're right up there too. I mean, I don't think they have that many flaws on their team, but I'd still have the Braves winning it and the Phillies coming in second again. But I will say my big surprise for the NL East, I don't necessarily believe is going to happen, but I put it on there that the Nationals are going to finish in third place.
I kind of tangled with this. I was going back and forth, like, man, who should I choose? I am going to go with the Phillies as winning the East. Second year, Trey Turner. I think he just going to be leaps and bounds better than what he was last year. If healthy, you'll have a full season of Harper, Bryce Harper as well. The team is solid, stacked as well, and I just feel like they may just have a better year regular season wise and win the NL East, barely beating out the Braves. Let's do NL West.
NL West, is that so weird? See, the Dodgers, the Padres have a 1-0. Everyone else is zeros across, and they're 1-1.
Right.
I mean, the Dodgers. Like, what can you say?
Right.
You know, though, I've listened to two back-to-back weeks of the best podcasts in baseball with Derek Gold, and then last week he had Ben Fred on, and then this week he had a Reds writer on there. But he makes a very good point. So he has the Padres winning the division, which I can see happening. I can see 4 teams win that division, honestly. But
right,
they spend like $1 billion this year. You don't know who their number 3 starter is going to be consistently, besides Glasnow and Yamamoto. It's probably going to be Bobby Miller, but after that, who's their starting rotation? And then you spent that much money this offseason, and Mookie Betts is going to be your starting shortstop. Like, what? How does that even make sense? That, you know, you have all the money in the world, you trade for everyone, but Mookie Betts is going to be your starting shortstop. So that's part of his reason why he has the Padres winning that division. It's funny, you got Mookie Betts playing shortstop, and then the Padres, everyone they had was a shortstop once in their lives. You know, so it's like, it's the weirdest thing. But that's the Dodgers right there. The Padres, going into the offseason, trading Juan Soto, I'm like, okay, this team's not that good, but I don't know. They got Cease, so they got a good top 3 of Darvish, Musgrove, Cease. We still got Manny Machado, Bogarts, and Tatis. Why am I blanking on the rookie's name? Oh, he made the opening day roster. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a stud too. Hopefully Cronenworth, for the Padres' sake and for my fantasy team's sake, that he has a better year than he did last year. Tim was...
You say here, rookie?
Yeah.
Let me see. What position?
Outfield.
Let's see here. You have where you go? Okay. Let's see. Jackson Merrill.
Yeah, Jackson Merrill. He made the team, and he's a stud. So he's like their second or third prospect altogether. So he's supposed to be really good. So I think the Padres are going to be better than what I expected them to be. The Giants, finally, they spent some money this offseason. They didn't get the big guys like they wanted, like the Judge, the Sotos, the Otanis, but they made some moves. They got Soler, they got Chapman, Jordan Hicks. You know, they spent money this time. So And then also they had a trade of sending Mitch Haniger back to Seattle, but they got Robbie Ray back in that, and I know he's hurt right now, but I think Robbie Ray in that ballpark would be really good. So I think they're going to be exciting. The Rockies are going to stay where they're at, but the D-backs is it's like split. You have the whole state of what the Cardinals always do of just get in and see what happens.
Right.
So the D-backs did that, and they made it to the World Series. But then they did what the Cardinals don't do, and they made their team like 10 times better than it was even making it to the World Series, you know? Like Erod's hurt right now, so that's probably why they had our breaking news of signing Jordan Montgomery, but they signed Erod, now they signed Montgomery, they traded for Eugenio Suarez, they brought back Lourdes Gurriel, they brought in Randall Grichuk and Jock Peterson. I think there's another pitcher I think they brought in as well. So I mean, if you're a D-backs fan, how can you be sad or upset? You know, like your team's trying, so they're exciting as well. With that being said, I'm still just gonna pick the Dodgers because, with all that being said, like how can you not? Well, it's like Derek Gold's want to pick the Padres, but if you look at the standings, those top 4 teams right there, I could see. Swear to God, I could see any of those teams winning.
I agree.
I think they're all pretty much like they're so even. Like obviously the Dodgers have the big sexy names, and they're gonna have the Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. Like that is absolutely ridiculous. Those guys are gonna be in a lineup together, and that's not even with Teoscar in there and Will Smith and Max Muncy. Like it's idiotic. But they also didn't hit any in the playoffs. You know, so anything can happen, but I'm still going to pick them to win the division because they'll probably go out there and trade for the starting pitcher when Kershaw gets hurt again or something. So,
and then plus Walker Buehler will be coming back too sometime during the season as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard not to pick them. You know, it's been like that for what 10 years now. You know.
Yeah, and that's why I'm also going with the Dodgers as well. It's just a different feeling when you're the best player, more than likely by everyone saying you're the best player in the game, and now you're playing in a city that is all about winning. And I feel Ohtani, even through his situation going on outside of the game of baseball, now that he's going to be in Dodger Blue, being in that city, playing in front of those fans, and just playing for the organization, it's just going to take his game to even higher, which people going to be like, how can he get even higher? But it's just different when you're playing for a winning organization. Something that I know you've been hoping that Mike Trout, Joe, could feel being in a winning organization. And the Dodgers just have too much firepower for them not to be, to me, the best team in the NL West. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Los Angeles Dodgers will be the NL West champs. But like we said before, those first 4 teams in the NL West, I definitely agree that any 4 of those teams can win the division. The Giants, like I said before, they added some pieces. They got some pitching. And especially at that ballpark, you need to have pitchers like who they have now. And you have Bob Melvin, who he is a great manager. He just didn't have the greatest time in San Diego. But now he's back in the Bay Area, pretty much back home. And he has a squad that I think fits the mold that he's looking for. I think he had a lot of drama queens in San Diego last year.
All those shortstops.
Now with the Giants, you know, like I said, or like you said, they got the pitching, bringing in Soler. They have a solid squad, and he's the kind of manager that when you just play great fundamental baseball, great things can happen, and the team is going to play hard every night. So the Giants should definitely be a threat in a division. Padres, I love Mike Shildt. I think that he's a great addition for that squad. The perfect manager, I feel, for that squad. You have a healthy, don't do anything dumb Tatis Jr. on the team, he'll be just fine in right field. You know, he is a Gold Glover now, and he's
Platinum
shown,
Glover.
yeah, platinum. So he's doing this thing. Machado, he gonna be him. Bogart, he gonna be him. And their pitching is elite with getting Dylan Cease. What an incredible move to get him. So it's gonna be a great ride, but I do have the Dodgers winning the West. Now, NL Central. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. I'm gonna work my way up from the Reds. The Reds have a lot of really good young talent, but they also recently just had one of their young studs get suspended for half the year with steroids, PEDs.
Who was that again?
Marte, Navoldi Marte, I think his name is.
Okay.
Matt McClain, who's their best player last year, is hurt, and he may have to have surgery. And then Friedel, who was also really good for them last year, broke his wrist. Is going to be out for a little bit. So they've had some pretty big injuries, and they're not going to have Joey Votto around the clubhouse anymore as a voice. So, but I'll get to all that later on with my actual standings, because I'm going to do my full standings for this one because it's our division. The Pirates, O'Neal Cruz, he's going to be back for a full year. And I forgot to mention with the Reds is Ellie De La Cruz. He's obviously a stud. And him and O'Neal Cruz, like, I feel like they're very similar. They're very tall, lengthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Big pop. Like, I don't know. It's really weird, but both lefties, right? One might be a switch hitter. I can't remember. But O'Neal Cruz, unfortunately, he broke his ankle, like, either in spring training or like opening weekend last year, and it sucks for the game of baseball, obviously. But they got a lot of good young talent. They added Michael A. Taylor last week. Marco Gonzalez is on their squad now, so he just got lit up the other day by the Yankees. But spring training. The Brewers, they traded away Corbin Burns. But they got a decent haul for Corbin Burns. But then they also lost their closer.
And
who am I missing?
Their manager.
Oh, yeah. Craig Counsell, the highest paid manager in the freaking sport, which is crazy. But yeah, those are three big pieces right there that they're missing. But from the Orioles, they did get a good haul back. They got DL Hall and Joey Ortiz. They're really going to help the squad. I just feel like they're like the Rays. They always kind of have the pitching to help them get there. And they have a ballpark where if, you get the ball in the air, it's probably going to leave the field. Then the Cubs. The Cubs are pretty much the same exact team as they were last year. They got Cody Bellinger back, and they added a pitcher who's never pitched in Major League Baseball. And that's about it. I mean, they didn't really do anything else. Obviously, they got Craig Counsell. But we'll see Hector Neris is a big signing for them. I'm going to miss him with the Astros, and he'll probably be a stud for the Cubs. And then the St. Louis Cardinals.
Dun, dun, dun.
We already know about the Cardinals. Let's add 3 pitchers. One's hurt already. Outfield's hurt. And Nolan and Goldie are big concerns on this team.
So before you bring up your prediction, I do want to go over the Central as well. The Reds, very exciting team. Prior to the last week of the season, they were almost like a lock to go into the playoffs. They just missed out. I am very excited about actually this whole division, Joe. I think it's not going to be a laughing stock like in the past couple of years where it's been like the worst division. I feel like it's going to be very competitive, even including the Pirates, especially if O'Neal Cruz and Ke'Bryan Hayes are healthy. If those two guys go on, they do have not the best pitching, but they do have some pitchers. Johan Acevedo, I think we all remember him from St. Louis. Him being on that team for a whole year Now, Marcos Gonzalez, they have other pitchers. They had this one pitcher, he's very young, but he throws like 105 miles per hour, Joe. He's a starter. I forgot his name, but he's very young. You know what I'm talking about?
Contreras, because I think he's now a reliever.
Okay, now it's someone else, though. He's a starting pitcher. They showed him facing off against Jackson Holiday a few weeks ago, and he was
Paul Skeens, but I think he started off in AAA.
Okay, but yeah, he's on the way. So I like the direction the Pirates are going. The Brewers, I feel, because of some of the losses with Burns, I would say more so Craig Counsell leaving, I can see them taking a step back. Yes, they have been a very successful team getting to the playoff like the Rays have been, but I can kind of see a step back. I'm not really sure about their current manager. He may be good, may not. I think the loss of Craig Counsell, I'm not confident right now in the Brewers. They may surprise, who knows, but I feel they may take a step back. The Cubs take a step forward with getting Craig Counsell. What's the player name from the Cubs? The player from Japan from last year.
Suzuki.
Yeah, Suzuki. He's going to be a beast. Christian Morel, he's going to be playing third base a lot. I know Patrick Wisdom is hurt right now, but Morel's going to play a big role in that team. Ian App is going to be playing a big role. Bellinger, once again, as you brought up earlier, he re-signed. Dansby Swanson, second year with the team. I feel the Cubs have improved and are very scary competition for the Cardinals, which we talked about earlier. My concerns, my excitement on that team. So I just feel overall the NL Central will not be a laughing stock as it has been in the past. Now you can go ahead with your prediction.
Okay. I have the Cubs winning the division.
The Cubs, okay.
So I made this list a little bit ago, but I'm just going to leave it as is just because of the ballpark. But I got the Reds in second.
Woo!
Cardinals in third, Brewers in fourth, and Pirates in fifth.
So Miss Dub asked, is it normal for teams to have this many injuries during preseason? Yes, it is. Especially to me, I feel pitchers.
Pitchers more so recently in the last 2 years, and a doctor's proven it, and players have proven, like not proven, but have said, and I guess proven's another word you can say for the players because of the track record, but there's been a lot of injuries with pitchers in their elbows and their shoulders and their forearms since all these rule changes in the last 2 years, and you can't tell me that's not part of it. Another part of it's obviously because these guys are just going out there trying to. You hear Adam Wainwright say it all the time. You don't just, if you want to be a pitcher, you just don't throw the ball as hard as you can. You got to pitch. And you got these kids, throwing gas. I mean, Lucas Giolito, he already had a Tommy John. Red Sox signed him. I forgot about that, and he's done. Right. It's everyone now.
So my prediction, I said this before, Joe, and you was like, oh, he got a timestamp. So prior to 12:40 this afternoon, I
can't believe you right now.
I had the Cardinals in between second and third. I have now changed my stance, and I'm going to say they're going to win the division. And the reason why is not because of just one player, Victor Scott, but what I'm saying is that bringing him in is going to be a huge jolt for this team that, once again, I think I said it before, that the team has been missing. I don't expect for him to be the reason why they win the whole division. All I'm saying is that because of him being in the lineup, having a true center fielder, no shade to Tommy Edman, no shade to Dylan Carlson, but we all know at this time, and I said this last year, I think we had a conversation about Victor Scott last year during the season, that I can see him being on this team opening day. and unfortunately had to take an injury by causing to happen. But you have, and you said it last week, Joe, he's the best center fielder we have in this organization. Excuse me. Utilize that. He has the speed. He's going to make Jordan Walker and whoever plays left field's job that much better. He's going to bring an energy, and I truly hope. You recall the days of like Billy Hamilton, Jobo, where we just couldn't stand the guy. You know, we couldn't stand this dude, whether he was at bat or he was on the bases. We need to have Victor Scott be that guy where teams are like, oh God, here he comes up to bat again. Oh, he got a hit. Now they're going to be on edge. And then it's going to allow players like Walker or Wynn or Donovan or even Goldie, you know, when Victor Scott is on base, he's going to cause havoc. And it's just going to make everyone else's job better, and it's going to improve their game. He is the perfect injection that this team needs. And the only way that they mess this up is if the organization does what they have been doing the last couple of years and not being aggressive, going by the book. Well, because he hasn't played in AAA for a season, we feel he just needs a little bit of more seasoning, and then we'll bring it back up after, you know, let's say Dylan Carlson and Newt Barr and Edmund gets healthy again. Are they going to just automatically just say, no matter what you've done, Victor Scott, I'm going to take you back down. We're going to take you back down to AAA just because you haven't earned it. Bump all that. If he's doing his thing, it shouldn't be no question. So, yes, that changed my whole mindset with this team. Like, maybe this was the sign that we needed, the jolt that the organization needed, the excitement that we needed, and that propelled me to say the Cardinals will win the NL Central. There we go.
Wow. Real quick.
Uh-oh,
How is he gonna wreak havoc on the bases if he doesn't get on base?
He can bunt. What you mean?
I know though. For one, bunts don't guarantee you're gonna get on base, and two, so every single game you're just gonna have him bunt. I'm just saying, what if he starts the year off? Have you seen our schedule?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be very hectic, and I'll go on to the schedule. But my whole thing is that if your guys, Arenado and Goldie, supposed to do their jobs, then it shouldn't be any pressure on him to do so much more, because all they have to do is just play.
I'm not saying he has to go out there and do so much more. I'd be okay if Victor Scott just played good defense and batted ninth, and that was it. But I'm just saying, like, again, if that's all he's up here, if he's just going to be a number 9 hole hitter and just plays good defense, and then every guy gets healthy, then yeah, he's probably going to get sent down, because guess what? Jordan Walker was in the middle of like an 18-game hitting streak, and he got sent down. Like,
and that's the issue that I'm talking about, is that cannot happen with the team this year. The organization, Jordan Walker didn't deserve to go down last year, did he?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
exactly because the organization, because of their ways, it has brainwashed people's mindset to be like, oh, well, he's going down once Carlson and Newt Barr and Edmund is healthy. And that's the problem, is that they're too much by the book, and that could cost them, and that could be the reason why they don't win the division. That's the reason why Walker didn't win or wasn't even close to being in the AL, in the NL Rookie of the Year competition last year, because they sent him down for no reason.
I said earlier in the show how I don't expect the Cardinals to do what they did last year, because history's on my side. They're probably going to win about 82 games, and that's what we've been pretty used to. That's exactly why I know for a fact that when all those guys get healthy, Victor Scott's probably going down, because what has history shown us? What makes you think an organization is going to change out of nowhere? from last year to what makes you think that's going to happen? So we all agree that it needs to change, but I don't see it changing. That's what I'm really getting at, and that's why I can't pick. I know that Victor Scott's going to bring energy. I think the mixture of Victor and Mason and Jordan and Donnie and Gorman, I think all those guys combined, it's going to be electric. It's going to be fun to watch, but I don't think just Victor Scott coming up and playing good defense and swiping some bags is going to change the whole look of the team and make them stay up here for the whole year. But I would be 100% to be happy to be wrong, because I'm just like everyone else. I'm excited to see him up here. Like, I'm extremely excited to see him up here, but history usually right on this, and we all know how the Cardinals are.
And like I said, that's the reason why if they do the Cardinal way, then they ain't going to go to the the playoffs. Let's go with our wild card. Who do you have as the 3 wild card teams?
I got the Phillies, the D-backs, and the Reds.
I have the Braves, the D-backs, and the Padres. So now
it's hard for me to pick all this, because last year everyone thought the Cardinals, Padres, and Mets were going to be pretty good teams, and they all sucked and missed the playoffs. It's so unpredictable.
Right. And that's why it's called predictions, So now we're not gonna break down each divisional round and whatever. We're just gonna go right to who do you have representing the American League?
In the American League, I got the Orioles.
Got the Orioles. Okay, so Joe, you and I are on the same page, because I have the Orioles as well winning the American League. What's up, baby Boba? What's up? Hi. You gonna wave? She tired?
Tired and crying.
She ready for her mommy. She say, hey, it's past 9. Where you at? What's going on? All right. Who do you have winning the National League?
Got the Phils. They're going back.
Ooh. I have the Dodgers. Ohtani is going to get that playoff limelight, and he's going to do what he did summer in the I guess not as similar, because he can't pitch this year like he did for the World Baseball Classic. But I feel what he brought pitching wise, he's going to bring offensively in the playoff limelight, and the Dodgers will be going to the World Series. So who do you have as winning the World Series?
Got the O's.
Baltimore. And I have the Dodgers. So
I can't. I almost said bet again. I can't bet 100% that the Dodgers are even going to make it there, just because of, again, they've been so good for so long. A lot of really good teams, and the only time they ever won was 2020.
Yeah, but it should be a great Major League Baseball season. Definitely looking forward to it. So let's go. Oh, got an update. Shohei Ohtani's reps declined to answer. Let's see. Declined to answer which authorities they've contacted to report theft allegations versus former interpreter. The plot thickens. Speaking of that, AL Cy Young. Who do you have as the AL, the American League Cy Young Award winner?
I got Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays.
Okay. I have Corbin Burns. Now that he's going to the AL, I just feel a lot of magic going around the Orioles. New ownership and everything. Him going to the American League, I just think it's going to just make things that much better for him and for the organization. So I'm going to go ahead and say Corbin Burns. National League Cy Young.
I have Zach Allen for the D-backs. It's probably not a good pick, just because he's pitched more than he ever did in his life last year, but he's a stud.
I thought about him too. I really did think about him, but I'm going to go with Dylan Cease. Very similar to Corbin Burns, going from one league to another. Same thing with Dylan Cease. He's in a better situation. I think he'll be taken care of by Mike Schilt and his crew, and he'll have an amazing year. Something that could have been happening with the St. Louis Cardinals, but we know they don't like to get, players like that. American League Rookie of the Year. Who do you have?
Well, when I made this, I said Jackson, but I changed it to Wyatt Langford tonight because Jackson's not on the opening day roster, and who knows when he's going to be up.
I'm going to stick with Jackson Holiday. I feel that he will get the call up sooner than later, and he'll make up for the lost time that he wasn't on the roster. I forgot about Wyatt Langford. He has made a nice push. Yes.
Evan Carter could win it even.
And once again, we know it's spring training, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Jackson Holiday. National League Rookie of the Year.
I'm just going with Yamamoto. I know spring training, he's been lit up in his first actual game, and in the majors was not good, but I'm just gonna put it down a while ago. I'm gonna stick with it.
You shouldn't be surprised by this. Mr. Game Changer, Victor Scott II.
Hold on. So how are you gonna say he's just gonna wreak havoc and bunt, and now he's gonna win Rookie of the Year?
I mean, it still affects his batting average, his on base percentage, his WAR. What you mean? He's still being productive. Why not? There's. I said this to someone else the other day. There's so many ways to skin a cat. You don't have to have the most home runs. You don't have to have the highest batting average. It's all about what you do and being productive on the field. And he's going to do that. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. American League MVP.
Now that Ohtani's out of there, gotta give it to my boy Jordan.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh,
he's got a chance now that Jordan's out of there. Not Jordan, that Ohtani's out of there.
Right. I'm going to go with Adolis Garcia. I'm going to go with him. He showed me a lot during the postseason last year. Like, this guy is that dude. He wants it, and I love what he brought, and I feel he's going to do the same thing throughout the whole season. So I'm going to go with Adolis Garcia, National League MVP.
And real quick, it would be very silly not to probably put Juan Soto up there because of the stadium.
I thought about that, but my whole thing was I'm thinking about the overall team as well.
Yeah. Like I picked Jordan because Ohtani's out of there, but then also because I love Jordan and he's a stud. But like Juan Soto, there's probably like a good DraftKings betting of whatever of it's probably like Soto, Judge, Jordan. I guarantee that's probably what it says on there. NL though. Now no one in the NL has a chance because Ohtani's in the NL. So that's like the only way I can look at it, unless he's just never pitches again, then people have a chance. But I don't know. It's Ohtani and Dodger Blue. He's probably gonna be the best bet for his entire life now.
For the NL, I have Jordan Walker. No, I'm just playing.
Get the hell out.
I also have Shohei Ohtani. I just don't see a reason why he wouldn't win it. I know a lot of the votes from last year was because he also pitched as well. But he won't be pitching this year. Dave Roberts did say he may spend some time in the outfield, which he did play outfield a few games for the Angels in his first couple of years that he played. So it's not like he'd be a stranger out there. But I just feel like he's just going to still do his thing no matter what. Distractions and all, he's going to still just show up, and especially just being on a winning organization and knowing that he has a chance to be in the playoffs. He's going to just show why he is that dude. So I have Ohtani winning the NL MVP. And with that being said, Jobo, we had a great preview to the 2024 MLB season, which starts this Thursday. How you feel about this episode?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Touch Just about everything, really, especially from a local standpoint. But obviously, Otani and went through divisions, and it wasn't just a Cardinals episode. It was a good one. I'm excited. What's going to be your drink of choice on Thursday?
Oh man, that's a great question.
After work, of course.
Oh, you know what? Now I think about it. Thursday I actually have a busy day. I'm going to be going to, I don't know if you saw the show last week, how we had our special guest Robert Kennedy on. He's the operation manager for the Lou Runs. So I'm going to be actually there at St. Mary's High School Thursday to get some content and get some interviews from some of the coaches, former players, etc. And Michelle may be there as well to join me to get some interviews. So my Thursday will be busy. So I may not have opportunity during the day to get a beverage, but maybe at night I may get something. Who knows? But I have a busy day ahead on Thursday, so I may not partake during the time frame the Cardinals are playing. But we shall see. But yeah, looking forward to the season, and I hope that you all enjoyed this edition of the Platform Sports Talk Show, Major League Baseball edition. And tomorrow night, it is the Man Cave. The fellas will be ready to rock and roll. I'll be back on the show tomorrow night, hosting the show since Stan will not be available due to other prior obligations. But Stan, Sadal, Mario, Craig Black are scheduled to be on. Maybe T-Bone will make a appearance or two. We shall see. And of course, the following week you have Ladies Night with Joe Bo, with Bunny, with Coach Brittany Willis, with Michelle Annie. She may hop on. We don't know because she's busy doing her college teaching and everything. So shouts out to her as well. And of course, you have the Platform Sports Talk Show. Give us some follows on Facebook, the Platform Sports Talk Show, the X at 314 Sports Talk, Instagram at Platform Sports Talk. Email us at platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com if y'all know someone that will be an incredible guest on the show. The show will be uploaded right away. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Go on YouTube, subscribe, Joe, and click on that
bell,
because anytime we go live, Joe Bo,
y'all will be notified.
There we go. The show once again will be uploaded right away on all the social media sites, including if you go to Roku, any Roku device, put in the Platform Sports Talk Show and add us as a channel. Tomorrow night, we'll be back on Hot 365 Radio, where it is always hot. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Your boy Smoooth, along with
Joe.
Y'all have a great rest of y'all evening, great rest of the week. And for those who will tune in tomorrow night, hope you do. Check out the Man Cave that goes down. Y'all have a great rest of y'all evening. And hello to the upcoming MLB baseball season. We out, y'all. Peace.